Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in today's video we are going to take a close look at these mini arcades. I've checked out all kinds of mini arcades, but this is one particular one I really like simply because this thing is just so freaking cool to have in your collection. You can just display them or actually play on it. Yep, it's that good. But I picked up this new version and I'm really wondering, is there any improvement? Because they don't really state it on the box. The only thing I do notice at the beginning that there is a completely different print. But also from a different store, different kind of colored box. So it's going to be interesting just to see what we're actually going to get. So what are we going to get inside? This thing has a built-in battery like the previous model. 156 games. I think there's nothing changed over here. No, 600 milliamp battery, 2.8-inch display, 16-bit video game system support, and this thing comes also with the option for 5 different variants. The versions we're going to get over here, I must say I don't really like all of the stickers, and this is the over here the orange version, let's call it that, and the previous one was the blue one at the left top corner. Nevertheless, I'm just going to be opening it up and just see what I'm actually going to get. So first of all, when it comes to these mini arcades, I am just a big fan of those things. It's just so fun to collect them all and sometimes just actually play on them. But in here we're going to get ourselves an AV out cable because we can just use this thing on the television. How freaking nuts is that? Then we're going to get a micro USB cable for charging it. The internal battery, they did remove it for transport and storage. That's great. I think they were the old like the old Game Boy SP batteries. They're not the same quality, they're like looking a little bit cheaper. There's nothing stating, is there anything stating how much milliamp they are? Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're having 1020 milliamp. Okay, so it's a little bit more than the packaging with the 600 milliamp. So in here, we're just going to get ourselves the mini arcade. And I must say, my first impression is that it is the same stuff that we have seen a couple of times. Underneath we're going to get these very nice rubberized pads. We're going to get also a 6-button layout that's configured for 6-bit or 16-bit. There's no micro switch joystick whatsoever. You have seen micro switch joysticks with those numbskull like mini arcades, reset, start, and there's no any indication what it actually is. So this is just what we're going to get: the on and off switch, micro USB, and the AV out. So let's open it up and implement the battery. Okay, I'm curious if we can also use a normal battery in here, or is it only for the battery pack? Oh, we can actually use 3 normal batteries, AA. So that's kind of cool, to be honest. We do have the option if you want to. Okay. There is absolutely some juice in this thing. The speaker is at the back. And it goes quite loud. Volume control can be adjusted from the side. You can reach it fairly easy. Okay, very cool. It's the same menu music that we have seen with some of the multi-cards or one of those handhelds. I think it was called the PXP3 when I just started reviewing. Of course, let's remove the screen protector because I'm going to get a lot of, let's say, comments that I need to remove my freaking screen protector. Let's power on this bad boy. There we go. Let's shut off the frigging lights. There's still a little bit of a glare going on, so I think I need to remove more lighting. But the quality of the display is pretty good. When most of these things back in the day, especially the 8-bit ones, had a horrible display. It's not IPS, do see differences, but it's still playable. Well, what is kind of cool that the thing even have a light up marquee or something like a light up marquee with a couple of LEDs at the back. Hey, they are trying to do something with this. Where most of the time we're going to get all kind of weird looking games, this is kind of cool. So we're going to get the same amount of games and the same kind of games, I think, with the previous model. So they didn't implement new things in here. Comic Zone, there is even some homebrew stuff on here, Revenge of the Shinobi. And the game list is quite nice. 40, 50. Let's see if we're going to find some weird homebrew games on here. Monopoly, Eastward. Then I must say that Mortal Kombat's on here. So the overall game list is pretty good. It is very good. Do we have some weird stuff going on? World Cup Soccer, but yeah. It's kind of cool, to be honest. let's start with this particular one. We can start. How we do have a tiny hand going on. I still remember this game was made for PC and touchscreen. Oh, that's convenient. Purple, and there we go. Oh yeah. I don't want a purple one. And it looks actually pretty good. I always wonder what the second button does, but they just implemented 2 pause buttons. That's it. Pressing reset over here brings you back to the main menu. We can just choose a different game. And I already mentioned before, the game list is pretty damn good for this thing. But the unfortunate thing is that the audio is pretty bad. You can hear it's off. So the overall emulation is not the same like the original Mega Drive or Genesis. Let's see where the buttons are. But the general gameplay is quite nice. It's a lot of fun playing this. There we go. And this thing is having a lot of good classics. Golden and I can still remember that I actually played it a lot on the Mega Drive. I'm always getting my ass whooped, by the way, with this game. See, I'm not going to press the super. Yeah, of course I'm pressing the freaking super. Oh. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. No, no, no. This is what I mean, man. This game is freaking brutal. Oh, it's getting freaking like slapped from 2 freaking sides. Oh boy, this sounds really bad. Oh, 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 man. Sound effects also sounded really weird. Ah! Oh, I'm a great destroyer. Now that was not a good thing. But one of the really cool features of the device is that we can actually plug it into your television and use it like a game system. But the downside is that so far I know there was no way of connecting any controller, so you just need to use the mini arcade as your controller. So that is like really convenient. Another thing I also noticed that the audio is a little bit slower than normal, and I'm thinking they're using PAL games on the device itself. With of course the horrible audio. The volume itself cannot be controlled by the mini arcade over here. See, nothing is happening, so you just need to adjust it through the television. But it's actually pretty damn cool, and I wish in the future they add an HDMI functionality. Or another feature is that we can actually play some different full 60 FPS games. Because this is actually looking great, but sounding awful. But another thing, I just wanted to see what happens if we're going to plug it out. And that is when I've noticed that the audio will keep going on, but when you actually want to play a game, you just need to reset it. Here we can see it goes back to the television. Plugging it out, need to reset it again, and then will automatically go to the screen itself of the tiny arcade. So back in the day they released this mini arcade with different kind of stickers on it. So I find it a little bit bummer that they're not really improving it. For example, giving it an IPS tiny display. Or at least giving an option to add new games. The overall quality is the same like the previous model. So there is nothing new over there. And the same also is for the display and everything else. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of this mini arcade machine? Do you think it's worth picking up? I think it's going to be also a very cool pure like a novelty to put in your collection, to display it next to its statue or something. Thank you all for watching. Consider subscribing, hit the little bell, and it would be great to see you in the next video.